And we're live. Welcome back, everybody, to the PTO Speedwagon podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I'm your host, Rick Johnson, joined with co-host Ryan Shapiro, president of PEOMG. And in this episode, we have Rob Timmerman with us. He is the founder and CEO of the Timmerman Group here in St. Louis. Rob, thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Excited to be here.
Excited to dive in a little bit. Thanks
our listener is excited.
Yeah, he's excited, exactly. No, I appreciate you coming on. Excited to dive into Timmerman Group a little bit, a St. Louis company as well. And so maybe I think how I kind of kick these things off is going back to the beginning. So started it in 2003. What was going on around that time that made you want to start it?
Yeah, so I'll go back just
even before
a little bit if I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I was running a dial-up internet service provider.
Yeah.
So the modems with the sound, you know.
Yeah.
So yep, all that good stuff. So I was running a dial-up internet service provider.
Okay.
And that was before websites and digital marketing, and all that cool stuff. But towards the end of that, websites started coming around, and I was running this in Southern Illinois where I lived, small town. And I always wanted to move to a big city. So wanted to move to the big city of St. Louis.
Yeah, there you go.
Took a job over here selling websites, thought I'd come over here and just sell everyone, and that didn't happen. So I actually tried it for a while, put my head between my legs, and my buddy got me just a corporate customer support job. And I ran that, and that was a lot of fun. It was a tech job. It was, startup, and then it went bankrupt. So I actually went back to my exact same job, the exact same desk, everything where I was selling websites up before, and just started closing deals. And really it was just because I had to take a little break to get the confidence that I needed. And that once I just committed to it, it just started happening.
Yeah.
So I built lots of big names around the area, home builders, manufacturers, you name it. But it was a job where I sold the websites.
Okay.
I also was kind of the consultant on the websites, and sometimes had to dabble in the development of the websites to figure some things out. So it really forced me to figure out how to do a lot of things. So I really became a website consultant.
Yeah.
And then I used those skills later on. But this company finally was kind of, the owner wanted to sell. So he was getting ready to sell. We all saw that. And I started Timmerman Group up the next day. So just started building websites. That's really all that I knew how to do at that point. And that was 2003, and really did that alongside having a day job as well. So I got those the same day, and kept that running really until I felt that I could do it on my own, which happened to be 2008.
Great year.
So
Great year.
I was young. I didn't know what a recession was. I just figured I forgot how to sell.
Yeah.
So I just marketed harder. Just got better at the product and better at selling and consulting and the whole deal, the ways to differentiate yourself. But spent some early mornings, by myself in my office, just trying to make some big points of difference, and found some. And then coming out of that, it just started building and happening.
Yeah.
So from then on, we started adding on other services. I'm pretty competitive, so I lost a deal one time to somebody who offered something called social media.
Yeah.
So the next day I called my buddy who was working at a big company, and I was like, hey, can you come here and let's figure out this social media thing? So
seems like it's going to stick.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to stick. So we added on that service, and then other services, SEO, pay-per-click, just kind of started happening.
What were some of the early services, like when people were asking for websites early on, just be built? Was it just for presence, or were they trying to get traffic?
It was just marketing and communication type of websites. It went in, when I first started, it was just, you got to have one because it's the next big thing, and then people really wanted it to look nice. And then they wanted it to look nice and be able to generate some type of leads from it.
Yeah.
And then they wanted to know where those leads are coming from.
Mhm.
So it just keeps getting more complex
Yeah.
as you go.
Interesting. When did then SEO come into the picture then? Like they were basically, I mean, because Google was coming up around that time, but it wasn't as big of a presence, I guess, until 2010 or so, 2005, when it was really SEO was a big player.
Yeah, I mean, it was SEO was always in the underground.
Yeah.
You know, so there was all the white text and the white background and
Mhm.
you know all of that good stuff.
That's the secret. Hidden text.
Yeah, hidden text.
Loaded up keywords.
Yep. But I actually started with pay-per-click.
Oh, okay.
So when I went on my own, I had to get traffic to my site, and I didn't know SEO yet. So I started with pay-per-click. But was great because that teaches you keyword intent, what keywords not to use, what keywords to use. So it taught me a lot of those basics of SEO, but I didn't have much money. So I had $30 a day.
Yeah.
So most people would say, I want to bid $1.
Yeah.
I said, I want to bid $30.
Mhm.
So I put it all on black.
Yeah.
And I was fishing out leads that way.
Nice.
So one of my big projects was the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center
Okay.
here in town, big, nonprofit.
Yeah.
And I got that through pay-per-click. And that was one of my big first large sum jobs. And then it built from there. But I also realized I can't get very far only having $30 a day and $30 a click to take the top spot was enormous.
Yes.
At that time.
Oh, yeah.
So I said, I got to figure out this SEO thing. So I remember the exact day I printed out the Google guidelines, and most people would read those once.
And there was done.
I read that 10 times. And I was also studying about how to do it maybe in some black hat type of ways.
Of course.
And I was also learning what Google was telling, and it just kind of came together and painted this pretty clear picture of this is what Google's trying to say for you to do. This is what's working. And this is probably what you should do somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, as a blend. Yeah. I think there's stuff like that nowadays too, like parasitic SEO, right? Like marketing, like you're sort of like commenting under certain posts to try to get traffic that way.
Yep.
It's not like a wrong way to do it. It's just what's most effective these days.
For sure. It's a lot of pattern identification.
Yeah.
So I'm very good at reverse engineering that and seeing patterns where most people won't think that there's a pattern. There's always a pattern.
Yeah.
There's always a pattern, and identifying those. And, SEO is not just Google. It's Reddit, it's DoorDash, it's Angie's List. It's you name it. If there's a list and an algorithm to it, there's SEO behind it.
Yeah. And AI is pulling in stuff too now as well. So,
Yeah, for sure. AI is a big disruptor. A lot of people are trying to reverse engineer and figure that out as well. But you do have to have the core foundation of SEO before you go into GEO or AI SEO, kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So you were running with pay-per-click, then you knew you had to get into SEO. Did your SEO traffic eventually beat out the pay-per-click traffic you were getting, or at least client-wise, you got more from one than the other eventually?
Yes, because I was only getting one click a day.
Okay, that was it. Well, yeah, that's fair.
You're still only spending $30.
Yeah. But yeah, I spend a little bit more, over the days, but still it's a mindset thing. Like even getting overspending $100 a day, when you're a young entrepreneur for something that's not proven, right? One in, one out, like it's tough to do. So there was a mindset.
I'm curious about that because how, you've been helpful in giving us a lot of guidance and direction on that. And in pay-per-click still feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable for us, especially since some of our background and the ability to generate leads outbound. So how do you coach somebody through that? Like there's the adage, like, you invest and you're going to get that money back. Like this is, but how do you get somebody to really conceptualize that? Because a lot of our clients, obviously in space, are SMB and budgets are tight and marketing is unfamiliar to some of them. Like they're experts in lots of other areas, just like they aren't experts in HR. They also aren't experts in marketing.
Yeah.
How do you help someone figure out like, you got to do this, or you got to do at least this much of it to be a player?
Yeah. you really got to break it down to the level that they understand. And I think companies that don't do that and they just, over the head or black box
Drop a
it,
proposal and like, this is what you got to do.
yeah, like I don't follow those practices and my team doesn't, but you got to break it down so they understand. So at the end of the day, all that you're doing with SEO, pay-per-click is really capturing existing demand. So there's people out there searching for what you're offering, and you either show up where they're looking or you don't. And if you don't, you have just given that business to your competition.
Yeah,
because it's going to go somewhere. They're not searching for, PEO consultant or whatever.
Right.
For fun.
Yeah.
Right. They're not,
nor are we. It's not fun.
They're not doing that.
It's not fun.
So there's those are very bottom of the funnel,
right,
transactional types of words. And that's really where the pavement hits the road, where you show up or it goes to your competitor because somebody's going to win it.
That's interesting. Yeah. So it's kind of a zero-sum game in terms of that. It's like, you've got to go get there
100%,
or else you're just giving it away
for you to take that spot.
Right.
Because there's traditionally only 10 spots on the front page.
Right. Which is interesting too, because I don't know. I mean, that people always think that way about that it's like, I go pay this money and they're kind of just hoping only the cream, like someone's going to show up and pick you. And the reality is that person's already there out there thinking about it.
For sure. I look at it like, and preach that, especially SEO, it's not a fix it thing. It is a momentum thing. So if you stop, well, Jimmy and Sally and Susie, they're right on your tail and they're going to move you over. And once they do, you can't catch back up a lot of times.
Right.
So you see that where different companies will start with seasonality and things. And before long, they've just lost it.
Yeah. You mentioned pay-per-click, SEO, and then I also wanted to ask about the flywheel concept that you have with Timmerman Group. What's missing from that? What else is in the flywheel? And then what is the concept of it overall?
Yeah, so we really started with the funnel, just like every marketing agency did, and it's kind of top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, right? But what happens at the bottom of the funnel? We kept getting to that point where, okay, you got the initial customer and then what? And there wasn't this pick up the pieces and do something with it. So we really went more in from full funnel into a flywheel, because we wanted to not only capture demand, which was kind of what we're known for, but create it, convert it, all those different aspects to really get this flywheel moving faster. Because a lot of the times clients come to us, they're already doing pretty well, hopefully. They already have some traction. They've already got some traction. The flywheel's moving. We just want to get it moving much faster. So you can add in things like email marketing to, help pick up your customers where you left them at the bottom of that funnel, right? They already made the sale. Well, let's reignite them and put them back around and keep the whole thing moving.
That makes sense. So the flywheel is different types of inbound marketing and phases they're going through. The idea is that they're not leaving this like a funnel has an end to it.
Right.
They're staying in it until maybe at some point they're unsubscribing or something like that.
Right. And yeah, this really came about with me with my very low skill design skills, trying to make this funnel that was perpetual. Right. And we just couldn't illustrate.
No. Yeah.
And then the flywheel just made sense and away it went.
Nice. Where do, when people come to you, what areas of the flywheel, you said sometimes they can be strong in already. What areas are they strong in already? What areas are they maybe weak in when they come to you?
We've got a big name in the SEO pay-per-click space. So they really come to us a lot for the capturing demand phase.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's demand out there. But also converting demand, things like websites is a big player for us too. So a lot of just complete new website designs, which are pretty painful to business owners, right? I've been dreading my rebuild for probably the past 5 years, but we do something called website improvement projects. So a lot of times you're just sick of looking at your site, right? Like you're over it and you just want to create a new one because you're sick of looking at it.
Yeah.
So we can alleviate some of that pain and reduce some of those costs by using your existing site, but adding those things to it that maybe you couldn't do on your own. Pulling out some of the themes that aren't used and changing the colors and fonts, because you've only seen maybe this look at it.
Yeah.
But there's 50 other templates maybe that's on your site that you've built, 5 years ago.
that you could be using. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you have a custom site, you can always add on to it. But at some point, you got to build a new one.
Yeah. And I feel like now versus like, back in 2003, everybody has a site, but it's what kind of site do they have? Can they turn it into a piece of the flywheel so it converts and has
Right.
leads, or is it just existing out there and,
Yep.
being kind of the face of the company?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I went from just a sales and marketing type of piece, of marketing out there in the digital space to, okay, this is a lead gen tool.
Yeah. So so AI, you kind of touched on it before.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it in this space? Like, how are you guys using it without giving away any secret sauce? But like, how do you think about it, and how are you actively deploying it in the work that you're doing?
I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the same excitement of SEO when I first stumbled across this.
Yeah.
But it's big time excitement
Mm-hmm.
and what you can do and things. And I just, from an entrepreneur standpoint or, a C-level person, the fact that you don't have to wait on some things, you can just make it happen, roll it out is pretty addictive.
Yeah.
But there's a downside to that too. And that is the fact that you can do things and roll them out. So the barrier of entry is very low now to do things. So just the fact that you're creating things faster doesn't mean it's good.
Right.
And maybe it is bad. And it's overall going to completely wreck your website without guidance.
Yeah.
So I don't really believe in AI and no agency. I believe in AI plus agency. That's going to get you the best results there.
Basically agency enabled or AI enabled.
Guidance, guidance along the way. Like, I'm not a developer, and could I build a website with AI? Sure. But it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be a disaster.
Is that the sales battleground for an organization like yours now, is having conversations with business owners or entrepreneurs or somebody who's putting up their first website, that it is a very low barrier for you to do this. And maybe this gets you from 0 to 1, but 0 to 1 isn't really what you should be doing.
I believe it is.
Yeah.
So I believe it is, but that is kind of under the table. Under the table, in the boardrooms, it's, can we get rid of this team because we can give an intern AI? Right. And it's just doesn't work that way. You're just building something the wrong way, and then we're gonna have to pay to fix it. But I do think that is the battlefield.
Yeah. What is it that you see like AI won't be able to figure out for a while that an agency can do? There's that human intervention. We talk about that in our processes. We access AI to do certain elements, but we always have a human intervention to it. Like, what can't it do that you'd say, hey, this is the risk of just accessing AI to run your marketing strategy?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the AIs right now, they're reading what's already out there. They're learning what's already out there. So new ideas, new strategy, opinions, those types of things. If you wanted to write a blog about XYZ broadly, sure. But, what's Ryan's take on it and how that impacts the industry, that's going to be a little bit more harder to do.
Right.
And those are really the things that it's just a tool.
Yeah.
It's just like Photoshop. Photoshop's amazing, but there's still people taking pictures.
Sure. Right. Fair. Yeah.
Still people taking pictures.
Well, and that's an interesting too, because there is a risk to that. Like, through that efficiency, if you're trying to be a thought leader in the space and you're taking the shortcut to use AI to create your blogs that presents you as a thought leader, it's not your thoughts. It's everybody else's that's now this amalgamation. And it's probably, one, identifiable. People have tools to see if it's real, but like, two, you're just faking it. You're kind of posing as a thought leader.
You don't even know your thoughts.
Right. Yeah. There's somebody else's.
You don't even know your thoughts because you didn't even read them.
Right.
So, I never was the most excellent writer. Okay. But I've been using Grammarly for years, years, probably before anybody heard about it. but I didn't use it as just fix my stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I used it as what's wrong with my stuff
to inform.
And then I learned from that,
Mm-hmm.
to again, kind of the tool thing of using the tool to get better at it, not just as a crutch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're using AI to get faster, get more efficient, get more defined, kind of level you up, I think that's where it's super awesome. And that's where I use it side pocket constantly.
Sure.
Even just with marketing, there's so many acronyms and things turned around. What does this mean? What is this versus this?
Yeah.
There's so many things that are incorrect that are just spewed in the marketing world.
Right.
Just the series of repetition.
Right.
Just in the public.
Yeah.
Using it as a tool versus a crutch. Yeah, that's how you're going to have great
Ryan,
success.
you actually slipped up there. Instead of thought leader, you said thought litter, and I thought that was actually pretty accurate. You said
yes, that is what I meant. That's what thought litter. It's just a bag of it's a bag of cats.
Had that before somebody else takes.
Yeah, we got that's a post.
TM,
it's definitely
thought litter. Yeah. It's I have crossed over though to something that I didn't anticipate. Is like you used to Google things. People Google things.
Yeah.
Now I automatically go to ChatGPT as like my search engine, which is a weird thing. I realized the other day, like just kind of more default. That's what I do. I like its responses more, even though it might not actually be. It might be a litter of junk. ChatGPT becoming a verb is a big move.
Yeah, you got to change the name though. It's not a verb. It's not verbable.
I always thought that, but it's here.
It is. I say it's
teable.
I say it. I'm gonna go GPT this. Yeah. Yeah. It's like the kids say, search it up.
It's here. Yeah.
Search it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're doing it. Like the public's doing it, right? And also the technology companies are pushing it. There's always this war in the background, right? You've got Google, you've got Apple, you've got Microsoft. Well, if you talk into Siri, hey, what is a PEO? It will say now, would you like me to search that on ChatGPT? Where before it would just, boom, pop it up and here's the answer, and Google citations, probably pulling from their index or Bing, somebody's.
Yeah.
But it's just a whole different world, and it's moving pretty quick.
Well, that's that'll explain for the people in St. Louis that when Rick goes to a networking event, he's leaning down and talking into people's phones, just saying, "What is a PEO?" He's like, they think it's super creepy, but it's a strategy.
No, I would actually be just listening to the PTO Speedwagon, prepping, reminding myself what PEOs do.
He's attempting to talk into people's phones through their pants. It's lovely.
I do want to ask on the social front of things. I feel like AI, there's a word, and we might lose our rating on this one. It's called enshittification, where it's like there's internet's being filled with more AI content, and people are kind of longing for more personalized content.
Yeah.
On the social media side of things, what do you feel like works these days, and what's being washed out with the flood of content out there? Maybe what platforms too?
I think it's real hard just on various different platforms to tell what's real. If you've watched killer whale eat the person lately, or
that wasn't real.
She's alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, that looked as real as to be to me, but it's real hard to tell what is what. So I think we all have our AI goggles on now,
Fair.
To determine what's what. So that kind of hurts things too. Like what news is credible, So I think you got to back it with some real world experiences as much as possible these days.
True.
Because you just don't know what's AI and what's not. Like it's gone beyond just, I can spot it with the spacing and the M dash.
The M dash.
Yeah.
To the fact of some posts that I've seen that seem authentic were written in AI. So I think you're going through this period of what is AI and what isn't, but I think you're going to get the best results is idea in, AI out, idea back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we use, like lots of businesses, use LinkedIn for a lot of our marketing. Is there the risk at some point that people stop going there because all they know they're going to get is AI? Like they get tired of it. They get fatigued by the fact that I did a personal post recently. It was authentic. I did make sure I didn't have any grammar issues in it through some tech, but it was 99% of it was written by me.
Yeah.
But at some point, is it going to be that people just go like, they don't believe anything on there is real, so I'm going to stop going here? And how, I mean, there's going to be some negative impact.
It's a great question. And just in your heart, you would think, yes, that's going to happen. Right. But it hasn't happened in a lot of areas,
right?
Like, people are still taking, like I said, photos. They're still, using, getting records, so they're still using, it's still happening out there.
Yeah.
But in your heart, like, you would think that, like, you would think, hey, I know everything's AI right now. I'm just not going to exist and look at anything.
Yeah.
But also we know that's not going to happen. Even if it's a whole bunch of the news is just animation, and we all know that they're, they're just fake characters.
It's interesting.
Which they could be now. Who knows?
Hey, they have AI podcasts now too. You just put in the script and it writes it. You might be listening to it right now.
Rick,
we're not just going to.
Everybody's accused Rick of being AI, like not actually being a real human.
They can't find me online.
That's right.
This
That's
podcast.
right. Yeah, it shows up every 2 weeks on your Spotify or iTunes.
At the end of the day, I think people say that, but they're still going to listen, whether music is just invented by AI or if it's a human artist. It's going to be there in some aspect.
Yeah. People will still seek out what they're looking for to a degree. And I still think people will look for that curated content, like you doing a personal post. People look for personal brands, and try to follow those folks. So
the only thing is it just dilutes how much you can devote to each thing. So take like sports. Like, I truly think AI sports is coming soon, and it's going to be awesome. Like,
it was like Red Zone only with AI. Like, what do you mean?
It's going to be football, but robots.
All right. All right. Wait, so like Battle Bots, isn't that what it's called?
It's like Real Steel.
Like Spike TV.
It's like
Real
that
Steel.
Hugh Jackman movie.
It's going to be, they're going to look authentic.
I'll see some Tesla robots duke it out.
You're interested in watching that, right?
Yeah, I'll watch.
I am too.
Yeah.
But you're still interested in human. You're still interested in human football.
Yeah.
Are you going to do both? Are you going to give 10% to the bots, 90 to the others? So it's a little bit of diluting your time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. But I think everything will still exist.
Yeah. Huh. That makes sense. Well, I guess kind of the final question I always like to ask is, what are the symptoms that an organization has or can start to see creep up that should make them think, hey, we should probably reach out to Timmerman Group? What are those early signs that something's not going right?
Well, the best early signs is you're flat or you're not hitting plan. Okay. So you're not hitting plan. You might be a little bit flat. Those would be the best times.
Yeah. Okay.
But if the pendulum slips and it's the other way and you're what I call in a grave state, that's when it's tough.
Yeah.
So we really like to take clients from good to great. And then lately we've been taking a lot of clients who are great into what I call glorious. So think just like ranking on the front page of Google.
Yeah.
Great to glorious would mean you're in the top 5 and you want to go, or you're in the bottom, 5 through 10 positions, and you want to go 5 through 10, potentially 1, 2, or 3. Those would be like a glorious position.
And is that because on that other end, when you're the grave state, you just can't fathom, like, everything's going sideways. I can't fathom spending money, even though spending money is probably one of the cures for it. Is that why, like, getting that person to think that way?
Yeah. You are desperate.
Right.
And when you're desperate, you can't be an expert. So you're having to fight through that, where you're just make something happen.
Right.
And when you're in that drowning phase, it's really already too late.
Interesting. I like that line. Yeah. If you're desperate, you can't be an expert. It's very true. That's very real.
Rob, I want to thank you for coming on. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We always appreciate it.
Yeah.
Check us out wherever you get your podcasts, and we'll see you on LinkedIn.
Yep. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, bud.
Cool.